Thank you, John. And then Jeremy, did you have another slide you wanted to show in terms of next steps, or before we
I
get to
did.
Q&A? If
I
you have
did.
any
Yeah.
questions, please put it in the chat. But meanwhile, we'll let Jeremy finish up.
So, I'm sure a number of you are thinking, what's what's the next step for me to take if I'm interested in learning more about these options. We would recommend that if you haven't gotten a virtual, and I believe they're starting to roll back out in-person home energy assessments from Mass Save, that you in the last two years for Mass Save programs and 4 years for Mass CEC. We recommend that you do so. It comes at no cost, well, or rather, a cost that's already been paid for on your electricity bill. Mass Save is currently, at least for I think for the next rest of the month, they may extend it. Are currently paying for 100% of the cost of insulation, air sealing, and other energy efficiency upgrades. It'll probably drop back down to 75%, but these will also help improve your comfort and help the clean heating and cooling systems that you install go further. If you've already done that work, come visit our website at heatsmartmelrose.org and sign up either for more information or to get a free site visit. Just indicate when you sign up which technologies you're interested in, and we'll pass your information on to one of these three installers. Oh, Jacqueline has reminded me that Mass Save has extended their 100% insulation offer until September. So take advantage of that before things get cold again. Hard to imagine right now with how warm it's been.
Thanks, Jeremy. And I realized I did skip a question and answer for solar hot water. I didn't have anything in the chat that was specific to solar hot water, so I'm going to go to one, but I'll start with you, John. In the question and answer was about ongoing service and monitoring, sort of what is required with these systems and what kind of problems come up, and do you guys monitor it, or is it the homeowner? Can you just describe that?
Yeah, sure. The monitoring system is an option. There's a rebate for it, so it's not very expensive. It's a $800 system, but there's a $500 rebate, and then there's tax credit on it. So for a couple $100, you can get an online monitoring that shows the system live, shows exactly what it's doing at any time of day, and also a history of the heat it's produced. And so that's an easy way for us to look at it, or the homeowner to look at it, to see if everything's working properly. We don't tend to check all of the 600 systems every day, but so it's really up to the homeowner to check. But with hot water, if there's an issue, people usually know about it and complain right away. So it's not something you can do without. So and maintenance is really pretty much minimal. With the drainback system, there isn't much you need to do. Maybe check the glycol water loop every 5 to 7 years, as I said, and otherwise, not really anything to do. If anything happens during the first 4 years, usually the things that tend to happen have to do with the backup system more than the solar system. And so that's, typical plumbing work, but we're happy to get in and get involved in that if necessary.
Thanks. And can I ask the same question of you, Joe? What, for the air source heat pump systems, what is the ongoing monitoring? Is there how do people keep track of how their system's doing and what kind of service needs there might be?
I was about to talk without unmuting rather. The system will carry a 12-year warranty for the manufacturer. They do list in their paperwork that you have to have a tune-up done every year. Realistically, that will consist of keeping the indoor unit filters clean if the capable of doing that. Usually monthly or every other month is suitable for that. The filters are washable. They're permanent types. They last 10 years. There's a coating on them that kills allergens and odors and things like that. That coating will wear off after 10 years is the expected amount of time. But the maintenance is pretty minimal. We do themselves. A lot of people, if your outdoor unit, which bears the brunt of the work there as far as like seeing pine needles and mulch and stuff like that, if you keep it in a generally clean area, maintenance can be reduced enough that you can something like that. As far as the monitoring is concerned, there are diagnostic lights on the units that will tell you what is happening. But like John said, if you're not comfortable, you're going to know pretty quick. But with the Wi-Fi, Kumo Cloud for Mitsubishi or the LG, which is just built in, you can constantly monitor. You can set up filter alerts. You can check past usage history and things like that. It's pretty simple to do it. It's kind of like if you've got a Nest thermostat or something like that. It's really, really intuitive. Most people are doing it off their iPhone, and it's nice.
Great, thank you. And Larry, I'm going to ask you the same question about the ground source heat pumps in terms of ongoing monitoring and service issues.
Sure. Maintenance for ground source heat pumps is very low. You need to change air filters for ducted systems, and need to, especially during the first year or two, watch the ground loop pressure because the system takes a little while to stabilize. But all that can be handled at preventative maintenance visits. The thermostats will provide an error message to you if there's any kind of a problem. Also lets you monitor your electrical usage and other factors. If we add the internet connectivity, which most projects do add, then any trouble alerts are sent out by text and email to both the homeowner and to us. Because with the internet connection, we can make almost any measurement on the system that we would make in person, and almost any configuration change that we would make in person. Something like 85 or 90% of our service calls aren't really service calls. They're just reaching out through the internet and making an adjustment to the system operation. The internet-based systems also store over 100 operational parameters every 10 seconds. So if someone heard a strange noise at 3:15 in the afternoon, they don't have to have us come out there and sit until the noise happens again. We can just look at the data log and see what was happening, if anything. So a pretty cool interaction with the internet system.
Great, thank you. And I had another question specifically about ground source heat pumps, which was someone said they see a lot of the fans for the air source heat pump, but they were wondering if there are any ground source heat pump systems in Melrose. And I'll start the answer to that, which is that as far as I'm aware, that there have been 12 systems that have been granted the Mass CEC rebate. And I think we're aware at least one more that's older than that. And you've done at least one of those, right, Larry?
That's right. Yeah.
So you've done one system in Melrose?
Yeah, that's correct. And unlike solar hot water or air source heat pump, there's nothing visible from the outside of the home with our installations. So people can be driving by a ground source install and not know it's there, which at a historic home is a great thing. But as far as our marketing goes, it would be nice if there was some badge of greenness that we had to show on the house. But our systems are pretty much invisible once fully installed.
All right, great. So I see another question, so hold on. Oh, this is another ground source heat pump question. It says, could you explain how the basement heat load is factored into the size of a ground source heat pump system?
How the basement heat load is factored? Yeah. Well, it's factored in the same way that any other section of the house is included. If it's a finished basement, then we do the same sets of calculations to establish what the heating and cooling demand of that space is. If it's an unfinished space, then that heating load, the software will attribute the loss in the basement to the loss through the floor of the first floor. So hopefully that answered the question. I wasn't 100% clear on
Okay.
what they were getting at there.
All right. He says, yes, that answered the question. Okay. I think that's all we have in terms of questions. So if that's it, I think we're going to finish up tonight. So I really want to thank all of you, Joe, Larry, and John, for being here tonight, and we're really looking forward to working with you. And thank you, Jeremy, for walking us through the HeatSmart program. And for the participants, if you have any follow-up questions, you can email us at heatsmartmelrose@gmail.com, and you can sign up on the website if you want to participate. It's heatsmartmelrose.org. There's a lot of information there about the systems. We will be also posting this video there once we have it. So thank you very much, everybody, and have a good night.
Thank you. Good
Thank
night.
you.
Guys, thank you.
Thank you. Good night.